Hey Gemini, welcome to a random tarot card reading. I figured I would do a random reading and let the cards kind of discuss whatever the cards wanted to discuss because I've already done your full reading for this month and next month on my TikTok. Every single week in life and love, 2 separate videos for each of you guys to discuss life and love. And since I already have those up for the full months, why not do a random reading, right? Okay. Now, what I can see, let me make my prediction, as they say, in the words of Miss Cleo. I think is she the one who said that? All right, I'm just kidding. We have an interesting concept here with the King of Swords in the reversal. This is somebody whose thoughts, they're very militant with their thoughts. This is energy that could reflect you overthinking things, but in a way where it's almost barbaric, like really militant. He's the militant leader ultimately. And if you think about how absolutely strategic a militant leader has to be, then if you put yourself inside of their mind, they're thinking of every single thing that they can. Extremely resilient. But again, in almost a barbaric way where they could have a tendency to beat themselves up a lot about what it is that they're doing, especially if they don't succeed on things. There's a huge pressure with the militant leader or the King of Swords, or for any of you who put yourself into the position of acting like a militant leader, there's a huge likelihood of beating yourself up for the need for victory of something. Now, for many of you, the other cards are kind of demonstrating some of the reasonings or concepts of what you're trying to obtain victory on, what you might be beating yourself up over. And I'm drawn a lot to the Strength card because the Strength card in history, it's about how you treat your carnal body and especially connected to indulgences. I know on this deck, which is known as the Animal Orients deck, there's a bunch of animals on here, but on the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith deck, there is a lion that is being subdued. And in history, in a Christian mysticism kind of sense, or in a Gnosticism heretical sense, which if you don't know what the heretics were or who they were like, I know they say that they're Christians, but most Christians hated on them. They were persecuted big time. They actually were crusaded against, right? So those kind of people had this understanding within the carnal body, kind of like the 7 deadly sins, where humans had a brutal knack of treating their body impoorly, where we could, again, like the 7 deadly sins, overeat, over sexualize things, have over lustful concepts, over adultery, over gluttony, right? Substance use, things that like over sloth, like dealing with too much sloth. Again, any of those ways that we could treat the body poorly, that's what the Strength card was about. And that's what the character of the lion was about on the front of that card. Again, here it's not a lion, but you get the point of it. If we were looking at that other deck, you could understand why I'm mentioning the lion, because it's on that card. But on that original Rider-Waite-Smith understanding, the job of humans is to subdue the lion that's within us. It's to subdue the overindulgences that we have, that our carnal body will try and bring up into us. In the upright position, there is an energy, you could say, of that as an accomplishment. So you have that ability to continue to push yourself forward into subduing any of these overindulgences. But in the reversal position, there's difficulty in that. The carnal body is acting up for some reason. And even overthinking is one of those things. But for each one of you Geminis, it's going to be different. Some of you, your overindulgence is overthinking. And that might be why the militant leader is here in this way. Too much thinking, too much anxiety, and you're going to have to try and simmer your mind down. For others of you, it's substance related because, again, think overindulgences. For others of you, it could be overeating. I'm not a Gemini, but I certainly can relate to that, the gluttonous aspect. For some of you, it could be, wanting to exercise more, but having difficulty in those kind of ways. So whatever it is, again, it seems like you're trying to tackle some kind of a situation in your body and you're beating yourself up for it. Now, this 7 of Swords is here. And the 7 of Swords, I know it is the arachnid energy, crawling on the blades of many, if I can say it in any more of a poetic way. But it's about it's not about a spider and it's not about blades, but it's about ways that we try to separate ourselves from situations or run away from problems. But at the same token, it's also a card of courage that can occur. You did get it in the reversal position, though, I might add. And in the reversal position, it takes on a couple different meanings. One is actually when you get like good advice from people on how to deal with the situation. Another one is the opposite, quite the opposite. Actually, it's when there's babbling involved, when people don't make like coherent sense, or they just spread rumors. Slander is another aspect of it. Because of that, I'm going to pull another card, and I'm just going to see why that Seven of Swords popped up. Are you going to gain some good advice about the situation that you're dealing with, or was there this idea of slandering someone? Was somebody, painting an idea of themselves or other people poorly? It's like being judgmental. Okay, let's see what's up. Page of Pentacles. I think it wants to press more onto the idea of it's judgment, but it's not negative judgment. It's when you get good advice and good counsel about how you're judging financial or business or lifestyle aspects. The Page of Pentacles, they want to plant a seed with what they're doing in life. And perhaps with all of this overthinking, you guys are trying to plant a seed, but your mind is all over the place. It's like a scattered mind. So you reach out to somebody, or you reach out to a person who gives you some good advice on how you can either plant the seed better in your finances, or help your energy out with this internal thing that you're going through. I'll pull one more card for that as well, because you actually have 2 pages now that I think about it. And 2 pages specifically is when your mind is not quiet. But you have one of them in the upright just before I pull that other card right here. One of them is in the upright. One of them is in the reversal. When you have 2 pages in the upright, it is disquiet. And when you have 2 pages, in the upright, it's disquiet. In the reversal, it is situations in society. When you have to put yourself into a place in society, which we kind of discussed that a little bit. That's what I was thinking about when the lifestyle aspect comes up. It's like when you merge the 2 of them together, it's almost like your mind won't shut up about where you fit in society, is a way to put it. And I don't mean to be crude when I say it's like your mind won't shut up. I'm sure that most of you understand what it's like, every now and then to have a super overactive mind that's like beating yourself up on something. And in this case, it's your place in society. But it's also because of what you're dealing with in the wants of your body. Again, there's almost 2 topics that are coming out here. One of them is about how you handle the body. One of them is about how you're letting your mind get to you. But oftentimes, as humans, both of those intersect with one another. If a person's body isn't in the integral place that it should be, then you've got difficulties with the mind. And the alternative, if your mind isn't where it should be in a balanced perspective, I guess you could say, or perception of things, then your body usually suffers because of it. So I feel like we've kind of got both of them coming out here. And because those 2 things are battling against each other, the body and the mind, the way that you view how you sit in society is having some difficulty. Like you're having difficulty labeling it. Where you want to go forward with that. The last card that I haven't mentioned, like this is the situation. I want to know about the outcome. I get curious about those kind of things. And that's where this card comes in, because there is the Wheel of Fortune is here. There's actually a change of luck, a chance that's going to happen, like a circumstance that kind of comes out of nowhere. But let me center this, and I'll pull another card out for why luck is going to turn on your side for that. Is it because of something random, an event that just happens to come out in your life that sprinkles some luck on you? Or is it because you get up and you do something to change circumstances? Because the Wheel of Fortune, they say, it's your job in life to get up and spin the Wheel of Fortune. If you don't get up and spin the wheel and take chances on things, then those things will never happen for you. It requires you to take risks, right? So, all right, give me a moment and I'll see which way it's going. Is it chance? Is it happenstance? Or are you going to do something about this? The Moon card. And the 10 of Wands. The first thing I thought of with the moon card is that much like the Wheel of Fortune, because the Wheel of Fortune is connected to cycles, it is the zodiac. That's why there's a big wheel on it. And that's what the moon does. The moon sits in the zodiac. So it's connected to cycles and time. It's almost like you're trying to wade through your time or bide your time for something. There's some kind of a cycle of time involved. And the Ten of Wands is like, it's the card of completion. It's almost like saying, you'll be able to focus more on what it is that you want to do if you get through a certain amount of time. I feel like that's what it is that you're trying to tell yourself. Some people say, I'm only ready once I get this thing done, or I'll be ready to go and, buy that house or whatever once I finish this other task first. And that is something, well, with the Wheel of Fortune in the upright position, honestly, I think it could work out. I think you're confused about it though. With the moon card being a card of uncertainty, I think you're telling yourself, if you just get through this amount of time, it will work out. But you also tell yourself in your mind that you don't really know if you're feeding yourself bullshit or not. You're like, I hope it works out if I just wait this amount of time. But you never really truly know until you're in the situation. And then you find out whether the time that you thought you were taking was actually worth it or not, whether it was going to pay off or not. In this case, I actually think it will. Because the Wheel of Fortune is there, because things turn in your favor. This Ten of Wands is unique to me, though, also in this reading, because it is a completion card. It is waiting to get to the end of something. But again, it's so that you can put something down, so that you can finish the task. You see how he's holding this little beaver energy? He's holding and picking up what it is that he has to carry to complete. And if you look at the numbers of 1 to 10 in numerology, that's the sentiment of completion. But sometimes with the Ten of Wands, the energy is that you put it down because it's done. And other times you put it down because it was too heavy and you have to let it go. And there's a part of me worrying or wondering which one it is. Are you going to finish a task? Or are you just going to say, look, at my best bet to get my success is to stop doing this other thing or this thing or whatever it is. All right, this might be one of my last cards. The Four of Swords. It's I think you are going to see it out to completion. It's so that you can rest. You just want to relax. You're like, I'm going through so much. It's so heavy. There's so much overthinking. I just wish I could take a break and relax is ultimately what it is. That's why the Four of Swords, in tradition, it's depicted as a gravestone. The ultimate format of rest. But on this deck, it's a sloth, somebody who gets to be lazy and just relax a little bit. Nothing wrong with that, to be quite frank. I think there's room for healing in the mind and the body when people just chill out and they don't have so much going on in their mind, in their body, and in the projects that they're trying to complete. I am going to pull one more. I'm so curious. See? Okay. All right. Doubling down on the cards that you will successfully complete the task that you have. Nine of Cups is a wish fulfillment card. If you get your glass, you get your cups, and then some. You get your cake and then some. You see what I'm saying? So you will accomplish the task that you set out for. And that also includes whatever it is that you're trying to cement for yourself after the span of time is over with. Because again, remember I said there's this theme here that you are just kind of saying to yourself, I just have to get to the end of this. I just have to do this thing, and then you can pick up whatever it is that you want to pick up. The idea is to pick something else up once you complete a task. But there was a sentiment of confusion as to whether you're just feeding yourself a thought and saying, oh, is it really going to work if I just give myself this time? It will. Yep, you get both of it. You get the task that you're doing right now in life, trying to figure out where you are in society. You will accomplish that according to this. The Wheel of Fortune and the time that you're giving yourself is necessary. It will allow you to complete your tasks and pick up the next ones. Even if the next ones is just how you can relax and how you can just move on with life comfortably. And also this is about healing as well. So that kind of dynamic of giving yourself time, it will lead to healing for you. And hopefully for you guys, it'll quiet your mind down. I'm going to leave you guys off with that. I'm going to wish you all the best, and if you're ever interested in a tarot reading, I've got private readings, any 2 questions for $20, and then some. Those are at the link in my bio if you're ever interested in a reading. Or again, you can check out my TikTok where I'm going to be uploading your next readings as well. I've got free readings and membership readings over there on TikTok. and some extra readings over on my Patreon. I will talk to you later. Thank you very much, and ciao for now.